Guys, it's Paul Dalton here. If you're still subscribed to this R Squared Studios YouTube channel, you might have noticed that it's been pretty quiet for a while. The reason being, me and Tom did some videos when I was up in Edinburgh visiting him, and when we tried to upload them to the YouTube channel, we realised we couldn't. We'd been kind of locked out. Basically what had happened is I'd put a double security thing on my Google account, because as you know, Google lets you log into YouTube. It's all owned by Google now. So I'd put a double security thing so it couldn't be accessed by anybody else. And since I did that, I've changed my mobile phone number. So I couldn't receive any texts for security codes to log in from any other devices, which meant we couldn't get into the R Squared channel as it existed, the one that you couldn't watch this video on. I posted a lot of video on my personal channel, but I don't think I have any subscribers on my personal channel, maybe a couple, I don't know. So what we've done instead is we've created a new YouTube channel, because we wanted to get these videos uploaded. You could record like 5 of the bloody things in like 4 days. So now, if you want to find the new channel, if you do a search for R-Squared Studios, it's got the same logo, same everything. There's a few videos from this channel that are on there, Banana Cast 6. Our thoughts on How I Met Your Mother, top 10 British comedians, and maybe a couple of others. And the new ones, a couple of new Banana Casts, which you'll find out we're changing the name of. Actually, that episode got lost. We're changing the name of the Banana Cast, we're going back to Videocast, because we think the jokes kind of ran its course. And especially now we don't have the giant banana in the studio, it kind of makes more sense just to be more... Banana Cast, it was weird, because we threw it out as a kind of as a gag at the end of like one episode. I think maybe like the second one, the second video cast, and then in the third one we ran with the joke, and it kind of stuck from there, and we kind of kept it to make ourselves stand out a bit, much like Rooster Teeth with the drunk tank, as opposed to just being the Rooster Teeth podcast, which it now is, because being the Banana Cast, it sounds, I don't want to say immature, but I kind of do want to say immature. It doesn't sound very serious about, and not something to be taken seriously. I mean, I guess it is just a couple of guys on a couch talking about whatever pops into their damn heads. But it has that kind of immaturity feel about it, and people are less likely to click on it if they just see it pop up in like related videos or searching in the tags, that kind of thing. And especially with the amount of tags we put into the video casts. Anything, but when I was still doing the videos, anything that got tangentially talked about, even in passing, became a tag. So if I happened to mention The Rock as an example, I'd put wrestling as a tag, or if I mentioned Rainbow Dash, My Little Pony would be a tag, that kind of thing. Tom is doing the all the uploading and everything, because I mean we were always using his camera, but I had the software on my computer. We used my flat as where we filmed it. So I did all the uploading. Now it's still Tom's camera. With me being on the road, as you can tell, I'm actually recording this out of a car, because I'm on the road with work. I'm actually in Stoke-on-Trent right now. So Tom does all that now. We record it when we get a chance to. Like I say, we recorded like 4 or 5 in the span of a few days. Not all video casts. We did like a couple of themed episodes. And when you get to the new channel, you'll see exactly what I mean. This channel, I think I'm going to keep it, because there's videos on here that aren't on the new one, so I'm going to keep it open, at least for the time being, unless, because Tom might want to take some of the videos from there. Not too many of them, probably not some of the older video casts, when we were still so new to it, when we just basically put up the camera and ran with it, and didn't do a whole lot. I mean, not really much has changed, maybe the framing, instead of pointing straight at the sofa, and when we angled it, you see the sofa and chair, so it give a more rounded view of everything. That's just a slight change, but it makes it a lot more aesthetically pleasing, especially if you're just looking at it for all the time, because we don't have a multi-camera setup. We're not that advanced yet. We're going to get there eventually, I think, because we've got a couple of cameras now. So this channel's going to stay here. I've been toying with the idea of doing vlogs, whatever you want to call them. I'm still not sure on the actual pronunciation of it. Just basically talking about, because I'm in a different town every week, and I can just talk about whatever, what I've been doing in this particular town, where I'm going to be going, where I have been. So just to clarify on the housekeeping. So we have the new channel. Do a search for R-Squared Studios, and you'll find it again. Same logo, things like that. So subscribe to that, and that gets more and more updates. Thanks to Tom. Yeah, that was it as far as housekeeping the new channel. If you can say subscribe to this one as well, because like I say, the vlogs are going to be coming as a kind of taste. I guess I can talk about what I've been doing, see if it actually works. So, like I mentioned, I'm in Stoke-on-Trent. Last week I was in, where the hell was I? I was on holiday. That's where I was. I was back in Barrow, back in Dalton. Prior to that, I was in Liverpool, working in Liverpool for the week, and before that, Milton Keynes for a few days. Because I came back to work on a Thursday, so I did a few days in Milton Keynes. Went up to Liverpool, went home for a week because there was no work for me. Came back this past week, and now here we are in Stoke-on-Trent, and it's been pretty cool. I've had to actually. Normally, when we're in a place with this job, we're there for the week. We arrive at our accommodation on the Sunday. We start work on the Monday through to Saturday. We do what we do, and I do what I do, which is sit in the car, watching TV shows on my Kindle here, read comic books, explore the town, whatever. This week's been kind of different because another team has been sort of with us. They went to where they were supposed to be, and there was no record of them being there. So they've kind of come down, and I've been taking people to work street in other places. So while a lot of us is in Stoke, we've gone to Stafford or Macclesfield. So we're exploring more and more towns. So I was happy when we went to Stafford because I hadn't been there half an hour and I found a comic book store. So that's great. Because I know there's a new Friendship is Magic, My Little Pony comic collection. I don't want to say graphic novel, but you know, the collections, like the 4, 5, 6 issues collected. I know there's one coming out soon, and I basically went to see if it was out, and it wasn't. But there was the Friends Forever Volume 1 was in there, and they're probably about the same way in as Friendship is Magic is. But so I picked up Volume 1, so I thought I'd pick it up, why not? And I really enjoyed it. One of the comics I'd read already, because when I first picked up the Friendship is Magic Volume 1, there was a free comic with it, because it was October coming to Halloween, and they would do an IDW who published the books give away a free one. It was with Discord and the Cutie Mark Crusaders. By the way, if you don't watch My Little Pony, this bit's completely irrelevant to you, but this is the kind of thing that I'm on about, just what I've been up to. So I got that free one, and it's in this collection, and it's a good story as well. I mean, there was one that was it was Applejack and Pinkie Pie story. There was Discord and the Cutie Mark Crusaders, and there was Princess Celestia and Spike, and Twilight and Shining Armour, a brother and sister story, and it was enjoyable. And there was one thing, if you haven't watched My Little Pony, the creators, the people, the writers, the directors, whatever, they know that it has an adult following. They're very aware of that, and they tend to cater to them a little bit. The cameo characters, things like that. I'll give you a little story on this one. Right? There's a character. She doesn't really have an official name in the show. If she does, they kind of like on toys or whatever, they may refer to her as Ditsy Doo. But among the internet fans and the grown-up fans like myself, we refer to her as Derpy Hooves. And basically, in episode 1 of Friendship is Magic, she was just a background pony who hadn't been animated quite right, and she was cross-eyed. It was a complete accident because it's animated in Flash and it just hadn't been done properly, and people spotted her and she had this derpy expression. That's what she became, Derpy Hooves. And as she became a real fan favourite, she had this cute, oh bless her, look on her face, and they started throwing into more and more episodes, and at one point she got a speaking role, and that episode had to be edited because it got complaints. She had the cross eyes, and to give her kind of a slower voice, it kind of set up the scene. Rainbow Dash and this pony were fixing town hall. It was full of holes, and Rainbow Dash looks up and he's like, "Careful, Derpy," and Derpy is bouncing on this thundercloud, going, "I just don't know what went wrong." And there's thunder and lightning, and she gets struck by lightning because she's jumping on this damn cloud. And Rainbow Dash rolls her eyes like, "Yeah, it's a real mystery, you know." And a couple of things like that. And apparently, it's got complaints. So they edited the episode, straightened her eyes out, didn't have Rainbow Dash say the names. Like, "Okay, be careful," and the voice changed as well. So I just don't know what went wrong, and that got a bit of an outcry from the fans. Because, you know, this is Derpy, you know, you can't change her just like that, you know, but you got complaints. I can understand why they did it. I'm not all gung-ho about it. But, you know, so there's two versions of that episode out there, and I think I've only seen the one that before the edit. So I'm happy with that. What was I talking about? Yeah, cameo characters, yeah, so things like that. So Derpy's one of them. But there's a character in My Little Pony called Discord, and he's the spirit of chaos, and basically he's based on Q from Star Trek, Next Generation. I think he was in DS9, he was definitely in Voyager. The John Delancey character, who likes to dick with Picard and things like that. And when the creators, and when like Lauren Faust, who devised this, who basically prepared it for television, came up with this idea of this character, you know, it's basically like he's like Q in Star Trek. They said, "Can we get John Delancey to do the voice?" And so he did, and you know, John Delancey, who was Q, came on board as Discord, and he became a big fan favourite as well. And because of the manner of his character, what he's like, he can get away with doing stuff that, like, kind of almost fourth wall jokes, as references to other things that the ponies won't get or even acknowledge, but people watching will get. Like, for example, he dressed up like I can't remember the general's name, with the corncob pipe. General Eisenhower, maybe. MacArthur, General MacArthur. Yeah, that's who it was. He had the corncob pipe, and they had the stars and everything, and he was he blew bubbles. He wasn't smoking. You can't have smoking in a kids' cartoon. But things like that. And in this comic, it was him and the Cutie Mark Crusaders. Sorry, I'm rambling, but you know, that's what I do. And without Tom here to shut me up, I'm just going to keep going. Eventually I'll shut myself up because I've been going for nearly 13 minutes, and what I've said is there's a new channel and here's My Little Pony shit. So in this comic, you've got the Cutie Mark Crusaders. They're a group of 3 fillies trying to get the Cutie Marks, which is the... even if you've not seen My Little Pony, you know they have the little designs on the flanks, like hearts or stars or butterflies, whatever. And the Cutie Mark Crusaders don't have one. And what a Cutie Mark is, it's like when you get to a certain age, or you find out what your special talent is, and that appears, and it kind of symbolises what's special about you. And they're basically grouping together trying to find what makes us special, get our Cutie Marks. And they've gone through this whole list, this massive list of things that, you know, they can think of trying to get the Cutie Marks. So they need someone's help in you know, things that we can't think of. If we've done anything we can think of, we need other people to think of stuff. So they come, Discord, he's the master of chaos. He can think of things that no one else can do. So he starts creating this bubble reality thing. It's like, okay, so you try, go karting, figure skating, firefighting, lion taming, things like tightrope walking, and he makes one that's like, and they're on a spaceship. And it's very clearly a reference to Star Trek. You can tell just by what they're wearing. They've got the next gen setup. They've got the red and black uniform, and one of them is wearing Geordie's visor. And Discord's in the background wearing the Q outfit, the robe, the medals, the hat, and he's just saying to himself, something about this seems very familiar. Oh well, like little references like that, and then he shows the outside of the ship, and it's got the. The Starship Enterprise has the thrusters on the back. He's got that. So, like I said, references like that. In the next story, it was Spike the Dragon and Princess Celestia, and they've been held prisoner somewhere, and Spike managed to figure out a way to escape. And when they finally escape, and Spike realises Celestia has very powerful magic, she could have got them out any time. And he uses a line, I'm paraphrasing, which basically, you could have turned the bars to steam, or or the rocks into snowflakes, or teleported us back to Canterlot, and it's basically maybe slightly reworded. It's slightly reworded, but it's basically an exchange from Watchmen between Comedian and Dr. Manhattan. At least it's in the movie. I'm sure it's in. It must be in the graphic novel, because that line is too good for the movie to have just been in the movie. But it's where Comedian shoots the Vietnamese girl, and Manhattan is like, why did you do it? And you could have stopped me. You could have turned the bullets to steam, the gun to ice, or whichever way around it goes. But yeah, references like that. It's good. It's a good line if a kid's just reading this comic, but someone older like myself, who's read more comics and seen more movies and a bit more experience, would know that's a line. That is a line from Watchmen. A graphic novel that no child should be reading at all. So that's been kind of what I've been doing. Well, that's just the My Little Pony thing. I did pick up another comic. I picked up Adventure Time Volume 2. Because I picked up Volume 1 ages ago, because I got into the cartoon and then I saw the comics and thought, yeah, why not? Let's give it a shot. Start at Volume 1, start from the beginning. But just like the show, you don't need to start from the beginning. You just, boom, here's the world. Get on with it. And that's what you got thrown into. It didn't matter if I didn't read Volume 1 to get Volume 2. Because anything that is relevant to what's happening in a comic is in that same collection. For example, I'm halfway through this collection, and the story I'm about to start reading leads on from the previous one. It's in the same collection, so it's not like it's come from volume. It's not like reading. What's a good example? I guess maybe Civil War. No, that was all collected. Hush is a great example. Because Hush, the Batman story was 2 volumes. Originally, I think you can get one big volume now. But yeah, you needed to read Volume 1 to understand what was happening in Volume 2. Not the case with Adventure Time. And it's enjoyable. It really is. If you're a fan of the cartoon, you'll like then you'll like the comic, because it's very much the same style of humour. I wasn't sure if it'd work or not in a comic, because part of the appeal of Adventure Time, the cartoon, is the visual medium of it and the way everyone moves, like the waving limbs, and especially when with Jake and Finn. And if you've seen the cartoons, you can hear the voices going along with the characters, at least the ones that are in the show. So Jake, Finn, Princess Bubblegum, Lumpy Space Princess. All those are in there. Marceline, the Vampire Queen. So. And it's introduced new characters. Ice King, he's in there, of course. Gunter. It does introduce new characters, but for all I know, they might be in the show. I've only seen season 1. I need to get around to watching season 2 and onwards, because I think they're up to season 10 now, which is unheard of for a cartoon, especially in this day and age. I'm trying to think of another cartoon that ran that long. I heard the original Ninja Turtles ran like 9 seasons, but I think it's more like it ran for 9 years, with loads of mini seasons. To have season 1, then season 2, then a couple of years later, say season 3, whatever. Right. So that's the comic talk. Housekeeping, comic talk. Yeah. Okay. As I might mention before, I do watch quite a bit of stuff on YouTube. There was a time where I didn't watch anything on TV because my Sky box broke, so I couldn't watch TV. So I started watching YouTube stuff, and that's how I got into more of the Let's Play stuff. I'd never watched anything from Achievement Hunter, maybe a couple of achievement guides here and there. So I started watching the Let's Plays and thought, some of this YouTube stuff really good. So I got more and more things going. And of course, there's things like Nostalgia Critic and Cinema Sins, and things of that nature. And I've started finding more and more channels because my interests have changed. Of course, My Little Pony being big one. I'm sorry we've come back to that. Tom would be wanting to shoot me right now. But yeah, there's a couple of creators. MLP Silverquill. These kind of like review episodes, and MLP Silverquill does reviews episodes like a couple of weeks after. He calls it after the fact. So he's had a bit of time to process the episode, like how it affects the world of Equestria, and exploring the morals, because it's a kids' cartoon with morals in it. How good is the moral, the lessons that we learn, things like that. Also, there's Brony Notion doesn't review episodes. He kind of explores like questions raised in the show. Like his latest video, the time he's recording his latest video is how does Tank's propeller work? Tank being Rainbow Dash's pet tortoise, and he's got a propeller on his shell, so he can fly around when she's flying because she's a Pegasus, and it's got this glow around it. It looks like it's being powered by magic, but there's no one casting the spell. So how does it work? And he theorizes on things like, of that nature, and is like, if there's the elements of harmony, are there elements of disharmony? So they've got these good magic MacGuffins and bad magic MacGuffins, and what happened to the bad ones if they existed? Will we find them? Have we had hints of them? With things, there was an Alicorn amulet that Trixie had, which increased her power. There was a book that Spike gave to Rarity, which increased her creative abilities, so she was able to create more things, being a designer, and things of that nature. So he raises good questions. So if you're a fan of My Little Pony, for episode reviews, I would recommend MLP Silver Quill, Think Pieces, Brony Notion, and Canned Cream. I think Canned Cream actually was the one with the elements of disharmony, and he does a lot of collaborations. In fact, I think I found out about Canned Cream because he did a collaboration with Brony Notion about the elements of disharmony. Yes, it was a Brony Notion thing, but Canned Cream was in it. Yes. So this sounds like I'm just kind of wrestling with my own mind, but I do want to give credit where it's due. I don't want to discredit someone else's work and give someone else false praise. So yeah, it was a Brony Notion video with Canned Cream because he had gone to do a video about it, and then this story with an evil twin. But check out the channel. They can do it better justice than I can. I'm just giving a brief example. There's another one called FIM, not Fluttershy. Oh god, I feel really bad now. Little Shy, that's the one. FIM Little Shy, and his main thing that he does is Cinema Sins. It's a parody of Cinema Sins, talking about the episodes. Everything wrong with A Canterlot Wedding. Everything wrong with, just like Cinema Sins, with the opening dong dong dong. Episode title bong bong. Spoilers, the counter timer, all that stuff. I'm trying to show it on screen here, but I've just realised it's going to be mirrored from when I do it. So that's that. And another podcast I've been listening to, Brony Quest, and they've gone back from season 1, episode 1, and they're going to go until they catch up with where we are. We've started season 5 now. Talking about reviewing the episodes, recapping, discussing the morals, the lessons. Do they hold up? Are they good lessons to learn? And does the episode have a place in the Geek Pantheon? If you're not familiar with the term, the Geek Pantheon, think it's like the Greek Pantheon on Mount Olympus, with all the Greek gods, Zeus and Hera and things like that. And the Geek Pantheon is like that, with the shows like Star Trek, Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica. Some people say Firefly. I've never seen Firefly, so no comment from me. And does My Little Pony belong there? Because a lot of geeks watch My Little Pony, and that's a fair assessment. And for what it's worth, I do think it belongs in the Geek Pantheon because there's a lot of references in there that are kind of geeky and like I say, Brony orientated stuff for the adult fans to enjoy, especially with Discord. You've got to love Discord. So yeah, that's that. This isn't a very thought out vlog. I didn't even plan on doing one. I just grabbed the Kindle and thought, I tried doing one last week, and I was near a Wi-Fi hotspot, and I wasn't signed in yet. I needed to sign into whatever. And every time I'd be doing a video, I thought this is going well, and then a little thing would pop up on my screen saying, you know, you must sign in to access the internet, and then I'll get cancelled, and that stopped the recording. So I was like, balls! You know, I've just spent 20 minutes talking at this thing just for the video to end abruptly when I didn't want it to, and I couldn't resume the recording. It'd just be a second part. And just being on a Kindle, I don't think I can just edit 2 videos together to be one video. I haven't got editing software. I'm just using the camera and, you know, the default thing. And so yeah, so I'd planned on doing this last week, a couple of weeks ago, when I was in Liverpool, and you know, I had the week off. Didn't want to do it at home. You know, now I'm back at work, so I thought I'll try it again. Why not? Nick, I'll find out in a couple of hours where I'm going to be next week. I think I'm going to start recording these on a Saturday, so I can start saying, you know, next week I'm going to be in this place. So if you're watching from this place, you know, I'll be there, and we'll be doing this. And I've just realised, sorry, I caught my shoelace on the fucking pedal, so I was trying to discreetly get it off without drawing attention to it, and then realised, fuck, I've drawn attention to it. Yeah, I think that's about it. Sorry, this has been a bit rambly. This started off as just a housekeeping message, and I thought I'd just go back into the vlogs, because I mentioned I was going to do them, so here's an example. Is this interesting to you? I don't know. This is kind of stupid. I might even scrap this video. If you're seeing this, I clearly haven't. Yeah. Not really sure how to end. Bye.